Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining Navigating Career Bends. I'm Olayinka Yetunji, and I'm happy to see all of you. I'm not here alone. I'm here with a very special person on a special day. You know why it's a special day later. Thank you, Damilola Aloba, for joining us. Damilola Aloba is a partner in one of the big four consulting firms. I'm sure when he starts speaking to us, we are going to know more about him and more about his career journey. So thank you, Damilola, for joining us. To set the background, many people usually admire people that seem to have advanced in their career. It usually appears you never had any challenges. It usually appears that everything was rosy. You've been working for over 18 years. You have about 18 years experience, and I'm sure in the course of your career, you've witnessed the global financial crisis. With the advent of COVID-19, a lot of things have happened. Many people have lost their jobs. Some are suffering career shock. Some have suffered pay cuts. So many things have happened to people's career. And it's always good to know how other people have solved the problem when it happened. And really, that's why we are here. We want to know, when these unexpected things happen, what are we supposed to do? Because it's comforting to know that somebody else has gone through this thing and has survived it, and these shocks are not the end of the world. So my first question to you, Dami, will be, can you tell us about your career journey and the major milestones that you have faced?
All right, thank you very much, Yinka. And welcome. Let me welcome everyone on this webinar. The first I'll say is that my career journey has been very interesting, and I will not sit down here and give you an impression that it was all straight and smooth and all of that. So I started my career in, first of all, I studied economics in OAU, and while I was in OAU, I was studying for my C.L.E.A.N examinations, and thankfully by the time I was in the final year, I was at the point of writing the final C.L.E.A.N exams. So at that point in time, while I was studying, being that I studied economics, which is different from accounting, I had to pay a lot of sacrifice in order to be able to come out well in two areas. And while I was doing that, once I had a motivation, I knew what I wanted to be, and I had like an impression of what I want to be when I grow up. So on that note, that motivated me, to continue to do. At least I knew that at some point I would get somewhat well qualified enough to be attractive to anyone. So when I started my career, I started with a bank, an investment bank, and for the first 2 years, very fantastic bank, investment bank. But that was in 2002. And so, yes, I was learning a lot. But when I compare myself to my friends in the consulting world, that worked at KPMG, PwC, I kind of realized that, they tell me, oh, look, they just got back from one training or the other and all of that. So when I asked myself that I'm in a bank, what training am I doing? What am I doing to enhance my skills and all of that? And then I also see that they get both, not just local training, but also foreign training. And they get promoted often and all of that. There's progression, So I started trying to enter the consulting world. And this is also tailored to my upbringing. I grew up in a family where we're about four accountants. My siblings and I, about four of us, are chartered accountants. My father was a chartered accountant while he was, and he had an accounting practice. So I already knew or had a sense of some of these things, So for that reason, I felt, okay, let me also go into consulting so that I can get well equipped. Let me be honest with you, at that point in time, some money wasn't a motivation for me. I wasn't looking out for money. I wasn't looking to make money, right? I only just did all of these things because I felt experience first. I knew that knowledge is power. So the more knowledge you have and the more experience you have, you become marketable. And when you have qualifications to back your experience, whether you like it or not, whether they are sacking people, you will still get something. So that was my motivation. So when I was in the bank, I did my tests with the consulting firm KPMG, and they didn't get back to me. Even though I passed, I did the interviews and all of that. And then another opportunity came for PwC. I can't remember which one of them. I didn't pass initially, so I did the second one. They said they were looking for experience hire, and I happened to be one of those people that the experience they were talking about, I happened to have it, And so I joined 3 years after working in the bank. And when I joined, I was so excited, right? I was so excited. I was young, and I didn't quickly get to the reality of the work because I was like, I'm moving from a bank to consulting. Me, PwC, that I've been rejected before because I didn't pass the test. So I got in there. I spent close to about 2 years. And then around that period, KPMG called me. I should come and join them. And I joined, And truth be told, if you're looking for anywhere where you'll be trained and groomed, at the time, and I think maybe even still now, KPMG did a lot, What I learned in 1 year is like what you would typically learn in 3 years, So that was a great experience for me. I had a lot of challenges. The work was tedious. I'd had to work long nights. 7 a.m. Imagine, as a single person, I was living alone. I wake up, I practically get to work at times 5 a.m. in Ikoyi, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Why? Because I had a lot of deliverables. I didn't want my boss to come in and be asking me, where is this, where is that? So I needed to get to work so early. In fact, you won't be able to sleep once you know that by the time your boss comes, the first thing he asks for is, where is this deliverable? Where is that deliverable? So 5 a.m., trust me, it sounds ridiculous. But then insecurity wasn't this much. So I'd leave my house 4 a.m., 4:30. I get to work 5:30. By 7, when everybody is coming in, I would have done so much, And so that was how I went. And from there, moved to KPMG. I moved to the bank again. For your information, what I've been doing is investment banking. I've not been a commercial banker all my life. And it's just is what I love to do. And trust me, I was having fun. So there was banking recapitalization. There were a lot of things, but something that probably helped me on my job was experience, that I had the right experience and I had the right qualifications. However, when I was in the bank once again, I knew that around me, there are a lot of people that were very street smart. I was more like more academic. I was more of an academic person. I could execute, I could deliver on the work. But because I was already a deputy manager, I was just about becoming a manager. There was a lot more required of me than just being able to say, I can do this, I can do that. So that street smartness wasn't there, I can tell you for free. So when I got into the bank, I knew that there are some guys that didn't have my kind of qualification or pedigree, but when they talk sensibly. You wonder the way this guy is thinking. How come I'm not thinking like that? I'm so stereotyped in my thinking and all of that. So one of the other things I now realized was, yes, everybody in my environment, because as an investment bank, they have highly experienced people, people that studied abroad, people that have worked in developed countries, UK, US, coming to work with you, you know. And at points, I knew that something was lacking, and that was that foreign experience or foreign degree, you know. So I just started thinking about it, and so when I saw that was something that I needed to do that would help me progress in that bank, you know, I now said, okay, look, let me pursue it. Even though the environment wasn't also conducive for me anymore, because I had challenges. If you're not at the time, because I had those lapses, I was an introvert, I wasn't seen to be a high performer, even though I worked so hard. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, and so I now had to leave, and immediately I left, I started my MBA in Warwick Business School. And the objective of that MBA was really to expose me. I needed to be able to interact with different kinds of people, not locals alone, but foreign clients, that knowing how they think and relate, you know, and beyond that, have that foreign kind of knowledge. So I did that, you know. So eventually when I did all of that, I then said, look, it's time to go back to consulting, because I felt that in the long run, the consulting environment and background gives you ample opportunity to express yourself. Now, I'm not sitting down here to tell you that you must be a consultant. So that's not what I'm saying, but you must know what you want and what fits your career path. But for me, I knew that consulting was my thing. I knew that with all the experience I've gathered over the years, I would have a good career path in the consulting environment, with ability to work in a global platform where I can also get to work in different countries, be a part of a global, you know, workforce. That was very important for me, you know, where I didn't want an environment where local issues and all of that would affect my career. So I moved back into consulting, and that really helped me. Now, to really answer your question is, in a time of crisis, you know, like this, you know, two things really matter: your experience and your qualification. Experience, because if you are laid off, somebody else will find you attractive. If you are not found attractive, you can set up your own business. So those two things that were things that I knew in my mind that what's the worst that can happen. If I get laid off, I'll get somebody else to hire me, or I go set up my business. So that had helped me. So I was always pursuing knowledge. You know, and I said earlier, I said knowledge indeed is power.
All right. Thank you, Dami. You said something, and tough things do happen. What should be people's response to a job loss?
Okay, how should people respond to a job loss? Well, to be honest with you, a job loss is devastating. If anyone has ever lost a job before, you will know that it kind of humbles you and you get destabilized. And for that reason, you know, at times you even get confused. You feel that you're not good enough. You feel that for you to be laid off, then that means others are better than you. And as a result, you lose your self-confidence. You start thinking, oh, why? Particularly if it is based on competence. You know, the other job losses where you voluntarily decide to be laid off, maybe because you are eyeing certain benefits. But I'm talking specifically about job losses that are related to maybe competence, or the fact that, you know, there's a crisis and they just need to lay off the people they don't think meet the quality of people they want. So for that reason, how do you react? Pick up the pieces and believe in yourself all over again. One thing you need to do is ask yourself, why was I laid off? If you are laid off because you are not smart or you are not good, what are those weak feedbacks that I got? What are those areas where people say I'm weak? You need to go and fix them. You know, it's not too late to fix an issue. You need to go fix them. If people think that you don't have enough knowledge, go get knowledge. If people think you're not streetwise enough, you know, go get something. Like I told you, in my own instance, people think today that I'm an extrovert. People never knew me like 10 years ago, that I'm just somebody that sits in my corner. If you don't talk to me, I will not talk to you. But interestingly, over time, I'm someone that if I say that to you, that look, I'm an introvert, you think I'm just kidding you or joking, you know. So for that reason, you look at what weaknesses you have and use that as a way, you know, of improvement, and then start looking for another opportunity. Start looking for another employer that can help you express yourself. You've learned your lesson. You were laid off because you were not good enough, or they feel that you are not good enough. So what can you do? Let me give you one instance. A lot of people work in organizations and they are not visible. So if you work in an organization and you're not visible, visibility doesn't mean you're not good. Visibility doesn't mean you're not experienced. Visibility simply means that nobody is feeling your impact. And if nobody is feeling your impact at the management level, you're as good as non-existent. So when they're looking for somebody to lay off, trust me, the guy that doesn't know as much as you do or doesn't have your kind of experience will probably be given the opportunity to work in that organization than you, who you think, oh, I have this qualification or that qualification, and you know you deserve to be in the organization. But one thing is, they just don't feel you. What are those ideas that you've been contributing to the growth of the organization? Do you share ideas? Do you share knowledge? Do you speak out what you know? Do you empower people? Are you empowered? Do you make people know how you're adding value to the organization? So if these things are not there, you could probably be candidates, you know. And it's not, people say, oh, it's office politics. You can call it whatever you want, you know, but in every organization there's politics, either good politics or bad politics. But one thing is clear, that you need to learn why was I laid off, and take time to go and work on those areas so that the next employer will not see those lapses in your career. To just round up on that point is either you dust your CV and you go look for another job. What even says you can't set up your own business in a small manner if you so much believe in yourself and what you can do? So those are the two options.
Thank you so much, Dami. I mean, this is getting very interesting. There are times that people feel that they are denied certain things, let's say promotion. What advice will you give to such people when they feel that they are stagnant in their careers?
First of all, you can be stagnant in your career for many reasons. There are certain industries where you and I know that promotion doesn't happen regularly. And I'll speak about the ones I know. I know for a fact, because I've worked in a bank, that promotion doesn't happen as often as it should. Some people can be on a level for 5 years. Some people can be on a level for 7 years. Some people can be on a level for 9 years. Some people are promoted maybe every 3 years. While some people in that same organization or bank, some people are promoted every year. So it's ridiculous, right? Now, depending on what value, again, I'll speak about value. Value is something that anyone will pay for, or anyone would be keen to take on. For example, somebody would be willing to take on your matter at any point in time once they see the value you are bringing. You don't have to know the person from anywhere. But once they know that you're adding value to the organization, forget it. They will be all out there to, take on your matter. However, one of the reasons, like I said at the beginning, was I knew that I can't get my colleagues, my friends that started with me, they were consulting. I saw the progress they were making. I wasn't promoted in the space of 3-4 years. I only got one promotion. And I knew that I only needed to project that, look, if I do this for the next 10 years, I'll probably be getting 2 promotions in 10 years, thereabouts, if I'm lucky. So I said, look, with my qualification as an accountant and a graduate of economics with a 2-1, I'd rather just go where I can express myself and know that if I work hard, I will be compensated for the work. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not as if the banks are wicked for not promoting. It is because of the structure of the organization. You have one MD. You can't have 2 MDs. The worst you can have is one MD and directors and all of that. But the structure of the bank is like a pyramid where there's only one CEO, you know. Whereas in consulting, the structure is different, where you can have more than one CEO or what you call partners.
Yes.
And that way, everybody can be given an opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So for that reason, promotion, again, is hinged on a lot of other things. The value you're creating, your visibility, your experience, vis-a-vis your peers. So a lot of people enter an organization at the same time. You can hire 10 people at the same time into the same department. In the space of 1 week, you start realizing that there are outliers. I'm sure you know what outliers are. Outliers are people that all of a sudden, of the 10 people with the same qualifications and all of that, fresh from school, you just notice that 3 people seem to stand out. Those 3 people should be wondering how, you know, it's a function of personality. Some people have leadership skills. Some people are more proactive. Some people learn fast. So they tend to distinguish themselves very quickly. So as a result, when the organization notices those kind of people, they tend to empower them more. Not deliberately, but the more you give in yourself to work, to learn, and to give back experience, you know, the more you are recognized and the more you are shortlisted for promotion. Now, if you are not promoted, what does it mean? Does it mean I should go and kiss it? You know, some people will say you are playing politics and all of that. Is that what it means? No. Look, politics will not take anybody anywhere. You can do the politics from now to forever. What happens is eventually you get figured out and you realize that, you know, one thing I always say is that if you are not promoted, don't worry. There's always a time for compensation. If you are not promoted, what you need to continue to do, develop yourself, learn, get experience, do the silliest thing that some people will laugh at you at. In that organization, there's some kind of work that some people will say, why are you the one doing this kind of thing? That any work they throw at you, do it. But guess what? Do it well. Do it excellently. You know why? In the organization that they have not promoted you, one day, one organization from nowhere, you just realize that there's a talent in this organization, you know, that they need. The work that you have been doing that you think doesn't make sense or doesn't befit you, somebody somewhere will identify you and will hire you and will compensate you for all the work that you've been doing over the years, right? Which appears as if you've been wasting your time. You know, it's so interesting. I've seen people, our friends, where they've been working in an organization and they are not promoted. But all of a sudden, somebody calls them and hires them and gives them 3-4 levels above where they are, even overcompensates them for the time that they have lost, right? So, in essence, what I'm trying to say is knowledge is power. You know, this is the second time I'm saying it.
Yes.
Knowledge is power. Experience is key. Learn. If they're not promoting you today, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure that you are learning, you're developing yourself, and you're adding value. develop yourself, add value. You can develop yourself but not add value. So it has to come together, develop yourself and add value.
Thank you so much, Dami. My next question is about your formula for career success. So what do you apply and how are you able to sustain your passion for what you do?
Okay, from the beginning of my career, right? There are three fundamental points that drives me. One of them is hard work. I don't compromise on hard work. I don't believe that there are shortcuts, and I don't pursue shortcuts. So when I work in my career, and some people say, oh, you're being overworked and all of that, I do it because I know that there's no other way for me to succeed. So number one is hard work. Number two is integrity. When you do that hard work and you have integrity on the job, it gives you some kind of peace of mind that you are doing the right thing. And the last one is ethics. So hard work, ethics, and integrity. Hard work, integrity, and ethics. Ethics in the sense that anything that is wrong, don't do it. I'm not the type, and I can say it boldly, I'm not the type that I will work in an organization and somebody will come to me and say, oh, I have this small job for you. Come and do it, I'll pay you. Do you understand? Outside of my profession, outside of what my day job. I mean, it's not as if I can't do it, but ethically speaking, I can't do it because of my conscience and my belief system. I will not do it. I'll tell you, go and meet somebody, or I can introduce you to somebody that does that full time that can help the person. So I won't make shortcuts behind the company, right? So for me, that has helped me. And then when I now add all of those things together and I maintain my focus, everything I do, I try to say, look, in this organization, what is my focus? Why am I here? And where do I want to get to? And I give a timeline. So when you see me, okay, there was a time I joined an organization, one of the consulting firms I worked. I said, even this present organization I work with. So when I joined, I knew where I was coming from. Do you understand? So when people join organizations on a platter of gold, I knew what I've been through to get to that organization. I knew that I worked with the one-man business before coming to that organization. If you worked with the one-man business before, you understand what life is. Because if the one-man business is not making money, you will not be paid. There's no two ways to it. There are no two ways to it. You will not get paid. No luxuries that you expect. Training, if you are lucky, you get trained. And I'm not begrudging one-man businesses. I'm just saying some of the common things compared to a well-established organization. So where I worked, I saw that certain things based on my past experiences were not there. So when I got the opportunity to work in a structured environment in consulting, I was giving 120% to my work, not 100%, 120%. The people around me were thinking, why am I carrying this whole work on my head? But I knew why I was there, and I knew what I was looking for. I knew where I was going. For that reason, the motivation was strong. I had strong motivation. I wasn't ready for things. I didn't want to waste my time on things that didn't make sense. So those things, like I said, ethics, integrity, hard work, and focus. Those things are key drivers for me.
All right. Thank you, Dami. I think we should stop now for this first session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.